Welcome to Week 5 Financial Statement Analysis, Spring 2021. This is what we have coming up in the next couple of weeks. Where are we now? 1, you have completed getting to know each other, 3 points. Quiz 1, 18 points. Application Project 1, which is due on Monday, March 1st, 12 points. That would get you at 33 points. So we're right at about the third of the semester gone. Other available points is your discussion presentation, 10 points. Engage with discussion. So conceptually in the next 2 weeks or so, you could really be at the 51%, the halfway mark in the class. As a reminder, Application Project 1 is worth 12 points and is due no later than March 1st. Hopefully you're well underway. If not, you've got a lot of work to do in the next day or so. Be specific about volume indicators. A non-financial measurement, check that. Don't go any further than what is required. Check your work. Make sure it's organized. There's not too much on a slide. Create an audio or video overlay. That way you can go into more depth. We want it to be conversational. Please don't just read the slides. Tell me what's going on. So that's important. Modules, you should start on Module 4, Analysis of Principal Financial Statements. And from a time management perspective, this is something that should be covered over the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's going to prepare you for Application Project 2. And do not start Application Project 2 until actually I've given you feedback on Application Project 1. It's basically what is out there today under Application Project Instructions. It'll be tweaked. I'm going to add in a piece where I will ask you specific questions about your company. So make sure you address those, and that will be in the commentary when I grade Project 1. Quiz 1, for if you made mistakes, it was question 5. Volume is a non-financial metrics. Kiloton is what the measurement is of, and it was dollars per kiloton when you break it down. And a lot of you had broken it down by segments, but you didn't have the volume. And you didn't, and then sometimes if you had the volume, not everybody explained the difference between quarters. Okay? Question 15, the info came direct from the Form 10K, Note 5. We'll take a look at that right now. Okay, so I went right to the notes to financial statement, and here's the piece, acquisition of Allergan. The purpose of this question is for you to keep remembering, where do you find information? Investor presentation, 10Q, 10K. So you type it in to search for right up here, acquisition of Allergan, and this pops up. Tells you exactly what happens. A lot of you got this from other sources, but here's the total consideration in dollars. That's what the question asks for. You can find it right there. So it tells you everything you need to know. You move down. Here's the goodwill question. Here's the other intangible assets. And they tell you how it was determined and how it is amortized. And that's how you got the answer. 5 real-time discussions. This week we have 2. The first one is part of the Diversity Summit, and it's part of the University Coalition for Sustainability, their Awareness Week. So there'll be people from around the college, and there'll be people from around the country, around the world, that'll be joining us. And it's a panel discussion that I'll be moderating between Mitch Gruber, who works at FoodLink. We'll have Patty Lorenzo, who is the executive director of St. Peter's Kitchen, which serves 150 people lunch every day, and we have a pantry, and also various engagements from a social perspective that are there. Then we have Hootie Miller, who is going to talk about, will be from the Westside Farmers Market, and we're going to be talking about the hunger in the pandemic as to what is really happening, and I think it'll give you a really good perspective. So please join us for that. There's a link there. And then this Thursday at 7 p.m., there's going to be Bitcoin a discussion, and you can join the event here. If I have sent you an article, please let me know when you're ready to have a presentation discussion. We can schedule them. The sooner you get that done, it's worth 10 points. get it done underway because it's going to get warm. And once it gets warm, your ability to focus and mine is not going to always be there. So just let me know you're ready. If I haven't sent you an article yet and you want to present it over the next 2 weeks, email and I'll send you one right now. Minutes after I get it, I'll send it back to you. Just a few things now to give you some perspective on other things that are going on. Here's a look at how pandemics over time have remade the world. And pandemics are nothing new. But I think I'd like to just share this with you, is that we go back that one of the first plagues was the Antonian plague. It killed 5 million people. Then there was the plague of Justinian, 30 to 50 million. The Black Death, which is really the worst one that we've ever seen from 1347 to 1352. And between 75 and 200 million people died from the Black Death. Across the board. Then we got into the smallpox, more from a New World perspective. 1520 is when it seems to start. It still exists in part of the world today, and that's killed between 25 and 55 million people. The Italian plague from 1629 to 1631, million people. The Great Plague of London, which was 1665, 75 to 100. Third plague, they called it, in 1885, 12 million. The Russian flu, yellow fever in the late 1800s, not that bad, only 150,000. Then we had the Spanish flu, the flu of 1918, killed 50 million people. Asian flu, between 57 and 58, a million. The Hong Kong flu, 68 to 70. SARS, less than 1,000 people died from SARS. MERS, less than 1,000. Swine flu, 200,000 people worldwide. Ebola, 11,000. HIV/AIDS, 35 million. A lot of people. COVID-19 today, right now, we're at about 2.5 million worldwide as of February 22nd. So we look at it within the context, we have had these pandemics in the past. They've killed a lot of people, and the world has come back from that every time a different result. Things have changed, and that's what we're going to see. One of the things that we have seen is the financial markets have been very volatile over the couple of weeks. We've seen it increase dramatically in the first couple of weeks of February, where it went up a lot, and then we've seen it pull back quite a bit last week. And one of the things that people are concerned about is inflation and rising interest rates. One of the things that is interesting to note is that when the S&P dividend yield is greater than the Treasury yield, it's better to have money in equities because you can earn more on dividends. And conversely, if the Treasury yield is higher than the S&P dividend yield, it tends to indicate bonds. Well, what happened this week is it actually became zero, where we had gone most of 20. In fact, if we go back here, most of 19, we found that the S&P dividend yield was greater than the 10-year. And right now, it's come to zero. So that's sort of influencing the market's thought at the moment. If you have any questions, please let me know. The first project is important. We got to understand, make sure you understand the business. How do they make money? So that you can articulate it, because we're going to need that as we move forward to the analytics and into Project 2 and into Project 3. If you have any questions, please let me know.